Hello, I'm going to read a story out of this little book that I have called The Storytellers. And I want you to notice this image here. This is in the Native American culture, it is a storyteller, and that is a time honored tradition. I'll talk more about it in just a minute, but you can see that children are gathered around to hear the stories. So, being a storyteller is a way of passing down traditions and history of Native American things. And sometimes it's just myth, and sometimes it's just fun stories. But nevertheless, it is uh, something that is important to Native American. So this is by, I don't know who it's by, but anyway, the name of it is How the Cochita Learned to Make Pottery. I do not speak Spanish and I don't know what that means, but anyway, that's the name of it. Long ago, in the time of the earliest ancestors, Grandmother Wise One was sitting in Shapop and thinking about how the people should live. She said to herself, I will send my old mother and my old father to help the people. So she made the old woman into clay old woman, and the old man into clay old man, and sent them up into the world. When they came to the people's village, clay old woman sat down in the middle of the plaza, where she began to mix clay with sand and soften it with water. Clay old man danced and sang around her as she worked. Of course, the people of the village were very curious, and all of them, from the oldest grandfather to the youngest child, gathered around to watch Clay Old Woman and Clay Old Man. After Clay Old Woman was finished mixing her clay, she made it into a big, big ball. She pinched some clay off, put a little aside, and covered the rest with a white coating or robe to keep it moist. Then Clay Old Woman rolled the clay she had pinched off into long, long coils. She stacked the coils on top of the other until she made a pot. All day long, Clay Old Woman worked in the plaza, pinching off clay and making pots, while Clay Old Man danced and sang, and the people watched. The old woman was still working when Clay Old Man danced past and kicked the biggest pot she had made with his foot. The pot shattered into hundreds of pieces. Naturally, Clay Old Woman was not pleased. She picked up a stick and she chased Clay Old Man all around the plaza. By the time Clay Old Woman finally caught up with Clay Old Man, she was tired and she was no longer angry. Together they picked up the pieces of their broken pot, and Clay Old Woman softened them with water and rolled them back into a ball. Clay Old Man took the ball of clay and pinched off a piece for every person in the village. You have watched Clay Old Woman make pots all day, he said. Now you do the same. The people did as he said and made pots as Clay Old Woman had done. Clay Old Man told them never to forget to make pottery, for they could use it to carry water, to cook food, to store seeds, grind corn, and flour. To this day, when people don't make pottery, two masked dancers come to remind them of Clay Old Woman and Clay Old Man's gift of clay and how they taught the people to make pots. So I wish that I had prepared better, but you can make a coiled pot out of clay. Just get air dry clay, or there's all kinds of different kinds of clays that you can get that's even at Family Dollar. But you take it, and all of us as children have done this, and you pinch off a little bit, and you keep rolling it until it becomes a long, stringy, wormy type thing. And I hate worms, so I hate to use that description. And then you take it and you just begin to stack it on top of each other. You make a bottom and then just tack it and make it bigger and bigger as you go. Bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you just sort of let it dry and you have some kind of a pot. Depending on what you use, you probably couldn't use it to carry water, but you might could put candy as a candy dish, wrapped candy, or potpourri or something like that. So that is a story of how Old Clay Woman and Old Clay Man helped to teach the people to make pots. working with your hands is very important, and creating is just as necessary as the air we breathe, the blood in our veins. You take care. Have a great day.